It's 4:30. We're going to open the meeting of the DuBois County Council. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So all the council members are here tonight, so we've got a quorum, and we'll start with the approval of the minutes of November 24th that were sent out to us. Is there any corrections or additions to those minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve them. Have a second.
I'll second.
Dana has seconded them. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. And then 911 Director Stewart, introduce yourself. And
Stuart Wilson, Director for DuBois County Communications Center. I'm here to speak to you about a request for funding of a service agreement for 2 UPSs or battery backups, one of which is contained at 911, the other of which is a similar unit that is in the sheriff's office side that helps keep the network for the jail doors, door control, cameras, and various other network systems afloat. These are new pieces of equipment with the build. We, at the old center, we had a bunch of individual battery backups, much like a lot of you may have seen in offices, small under the desk units to keep computers from going down when there's a power outage. This is a large cabinet with a large transfer switch. It's in our IT room, and it actually floats the entire 911 center, everything except for our overhead lighting circuit, which is on a different electrical circuit. But it floats everything. So it keeps our workstations up. It keeps all of our 2 racks of IT equipment, which is 911 call delivery and call handling computers, radio network computers, the radio network itself. Without this, if we had a power outage, we would have about a minute to a minute and a half while the generator started where we would have nothing, and then we would have to reboot all these computers or start them from scratch. 2 of them are servers. They have about a 10 or 15 minute boot up time, and we just really can't afford to have 15 minutes of downtime when it comes to 911 call delivery. We can't afford 15 minutes of downtime when it comes to radio traffic, talking to our responders in the field. There is, we started off at a pretty high amount. We've whittled that down to what I feel like is the necessary service agreements. Originally, I think the quote was $22,000 annually. We've decided to only 2 of the 3 units need it. Wyatt agrees. I've worked with Wyatt. I've worked with the sheriff's office maintenance people to what do we have to have here to get the work of the day done and be protected. And I think the smallest amount is for the 2 units is $7,019 a year. There's 2 plans on the proposal that I emailed to everybody last week. I think the cheaper of the 2 would suffice. The other one includes travel expenses in the event the units have to be serviced. Evaluating these units, the tipping point probably is 6 services a year, then we should have the more expensive plan. If it's 5 services a year, then we probably shouldn't have the more expensive plan. And if we were servicing these units 5 times a year, we would be looking for new units. They are very reliable. They should only require minimal attention, probably once a year for just an overall health checkup. What this would not include is the cost of replacement batteries. At some point down the road, those batteries will have to be replaced. They're lithium-ion replaceable items that probably any electrician can replace, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. What I need today and what this ask is for a preventative maintenance agreement for these 2 units. Sandy, the timeline is not a rush. These have been powered on for 3 years and 2 years respectively. We can advertise this in January for final vote from the council in the regular January council meeting. The commissioners have already given their approval on the contract. We just need funding for that item. My budget doesn't have that amount of leeway to where I can add that in. I don't have a CNR budget, but I would gladly submit a CNR budget in the future, so we can always account for this in years down the road. This is an expense that's not going to go away. It's just the first time we're encountering it this year. It's kind of technical, but the short of it is these batteries keep everything on while the generator starts. And if the generator doesn't start, we do have some time that we can be doing things, reducing our load, getting somebody on scene to see why the generator's not starting. It gives us a little bit of a longer window to protect our critical services that we have.
And I think it was mentioned that door locks in the
Yeah,
sheriff's department.
the jail, the one in the jail is for door controls, cameras, lights, all the SAS systems that run in that jail are on that UPS. They're powered through that UPS. So it's very critical. The stuff for Wyatt had redundant UPSs, and for that reason, he said, I don't think I want to buy a maintenance agreement. I think I'll just roll the dice with it. And he felt like he could take the risk of not having it serviced. I would agree with him. We spent quite a bit of time too with this maintenance guy talking about it, and I think that will leave us on a really, really sound footing.
So, any questions or comments for Stuart?
It's been a while since I looked at the proposal, but does that have like a display that shows the state of the batteries that you guys can easily look at?
It has a display. If you navigate the menu, you can see the state of the batteries. You can see the current load, like from the home screen of where it's at. It shows you what the load is. Like if I would look at it today, it's probably showing an 18% load on the system. When it's on, when it's acting, it does have a percentage countdown as it goes, and it would alarm us if there are things. It's not beeping at us. It's not showing us it's not showing us any problems with the system, which is great that we're 3 years in. But it's also in a really clean environment. It's in a temperature controlled environment, and I would expect it would perform at a really high level, being that they're not in a dusty environment, a dirty environment. They're not in a place that's really hot or really cold. They're not in a shed out back. They're in a very controlled environment where there's people, and those things all matter and will make it more reliable.
I think the biggest question I had was UPS. It's not United Parcel Service.
It's not.
On an uninterrupted power source. So,
Yes, and they are. It's an industry standard. We've used them pretty heavily at 911 for. When we moved to the new center, there was a 20-year-old UPS that was failing that we left behind that we ended up destroying. This is not new technology. It's a little fancier than the old stuff. The old stuff uses lead acid batteries and a transfer switch, but the new stuff is, of course, smart and can tell you things about what it's doing, but the concepts are all the same. It's just uninterrupted power.
cool. If there's no further questions, then we'll just have a show of hands if we want to advertise for that $7,019. All in favor? Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. And talking with Sandy, I think what we'll do moving forward is we'll just make sure that this is submitted as a CNR budget line item in the years moving forward. This is a year-to-year contract, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But we're going to have some transition with Sandy's office, the sheriff's office soon as well. But I will ensure that this doesn't fall through the cracks and we get this into a regular budgeted item every year. So I appreciate it.
All right, is that all right with everybody on the council using CNR funds?
It makes sense.
Because it's strictly for that location. All right. So next on the agenda is the regional sewer district. Are you going to run that for us?
I can, and then you can fill the gaps if you want. Okay.
Why don't you, did a great job at the commissioners meeting this morning, so if you could do that.
Sure. Each one of the council members should have a copy of the legal services agreement, spoken with and answered questions. Here in front of the commissioners this morning, they agreed to accept the agreement pending council funding. Again, just to recap for folks that may not heard this morning, the legal services agreement is with Creek DeVault, and it serves the purpose of the county to assist the DuBois County Regional Sewer District in accepting responsibility over the current sewer project, which is Hayesville. $45,000 is a cap. The actual agreement would run from January 1st of this year through May 31st of 2027. However, there is an interim cap for about 3 months worth of work of $45,000, which I would, I'm asking the council for this evening. There was also a question this morning, I noted that a resident of Holland expressed some concern about their system, their sewer system is nearing their full capacity. And that is something that this RSD also covers the full county. It's not just the Hayesville project. So I'm a little privy to that situation. I had a conversation a few months ago about that, but current project at hand is Hayesville.
I don't have a whole lot to add, so I'll just open it up to the council for any kind of questions or
Yeah, one question, Dean, and I don't remember because Daryl used to do it at that time, but they had a map with the potential projects in DuBois County under this sewer district. I know St. Henry and Holland were on there, but Hayesville ranked the highest. Is that just because of the river, the watershed?
It's an environmental issue up there. IDEM has flagged that for decades, and that's where it has been given priority.
But like Holland, if they wanted to have more homes, they would have to do something due to their lagoon system being in capacity before they could build a subdivision, right?
Right, right.
I think if we remember correctly, the map that you're referring to, I think was really like Holland would be fed to Huntingburg. I think it was who would.
Yeah, that's right.
Who would accept, like, once you got so far, the DuBois naturally would go to, to the Patoka Lake, but, and then Ferdinand would take some of the other area in that part of the county, but those were just projected.
I think those maps are over there somewhere.
And they're probably still here, so, because we rolled them out here at one of the meetings for the public hearing at one time, I know. So, I think it was just how we could cover the whole county. Naturally, financially, the funds are gonna be the big thing here to.
Well, I guess one thing, I don't know if you talk about it, but Huntingburg has expanded their plant like way more capacity than the city needs. So I'm not saying the project's going to occur in Cass or Patoka Township, but if it would, they would be able to accept more wastewater just due to their treatment capacity, right?
Right, I already had just an interim conversation with the Mayor Elkins, just to kind of push that out a little bit to see if that was a future possibility. And we looked at the capacity and the future capacity, and it's something that at this point, it looks like it could be done. How the line would run would be another issue to cover, but as far as capacity goes, it looks like that would be a good route.
And I got one other question for you. So in Boone Township, I feel like that's a potential growth area. So when they design this, I know they overbuild it, but do they build it? Let's say some farms change hands in a year or two, and they just want to build a massive subdivision north of Jasper by Portersville. Is this what we're going to potentially do? They're going to be able to handle all that capacity, or would you have to do an upgrade or another package plan or something to catch that sewer?
I'm not a fan of the package plants. They come with their own environmental regulations and maintenance and discharge permits, all of that. I'm not a fan of those. Originally, we were supposed to serve Portersville and Hayesville in the project, and that's been skinning down, just to Hayesville for right now. But any expansions, would be something that the board could certainly look at.
Anyone else?
Well, I think what she's doing is setting this up as getting this thing up and running. We've spent a lot of money already on it, and I feel like we have to have this to move forward with it and at least see if it can go. We'll know in 5 months if there's any money there for us to continue with this project. So I'm for this to see what we got.
And I think the engineer on the project was here for the commissioner meeting, not this past one, but one previous. And I don't know if you want to touch on that, but I know we're working with Jasper on trying to come up with a cost of maintenance and taking the effluent. So that's where it stands. We haven't heard any final numbers from that. So I think we'll know that hopefully by the end of the year, maybe early next year. So any other comments or questions for?
And I like that we have a cap on it, so we can revisit it in May.
Right, that gives the
Yeah.
county some protection there, so. it's-
But for that price and what they stand to do for us, I think
Exactly.
in representing our interests and kind of shouldering some of that burden, I think it makes 100% sense considering where we have been in the project.
So I thought,
I was gonna say, thank you for doing the research, because you gave me a good presentation the other day about it. And I know it's probably not the funnest thing to call all over the state and learn about regional sewer
Part
districts.
of the whole process. I'm a little experienced on the sewer side anyway, so that's good.
Yep, thank you.
And she's smiling, so.
yeah, I think what we were gonna do tonight is just have a show of hands to advertise the 45,000, and then we would vote on it in our next meeting in December here, the end of the month, or 29th, or whenever it is. So,
Sounds good.
so who's all in favor of advertising the 45,000? So looks like a.
Thank you.
So thanks for
Thank you.
the work you've done on that. Appreciate it. Okay, so I guess we got anything on additional appropriations if we want to go through that.
I discussed this last meeting, we had a donation from servants, and we decided to do that for the ambulance services. Ryan has some things he could buy for the ambulances, so we advertised for $2,000 in the general fund.
So would that stay in the general fund until it's used?
It's in the general fund, and once you approve this tonight, I'll tell Ryan he can purchase and we'll get it
Okay,
done by the end of the year.
so I'll entertain, any discussion on that? I wish there'd be more people,
That's great.
but anyway, I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
Be happy to make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion, further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
In the lit edit fund, I have two appropriations, requests. The first is WTH maintenance support. We were short $850, so I'm asking for that so we can pay the maintenance and support fee.
Questions or discussions on that? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that $850 additional appropriation.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Sonia has made a motion.
I'll second.
Ryan has seconded. So, further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
And the last one, I need health insurance money, $250,000, what I asked for last month.
I think we all know what that's about, so discussed it. So any further discussion on that? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that $250,000 additional appropriation.
I'll make that motion.
Ryan has made a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Meredith has seconded. And further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
The final thing I sent this afternoon, I need a transfer of appropriations to help send down the entire Community Corrections Adult Grant. Right now, there's $158.84 in travel and training that we'd like to transfer to health benefits. $14.08 would go to health insurance, $144.76 would go to FICA Pro. We thought it'd be a little higher earlier today, but we got more final numbers.
Okay. Any questions, further questions or discussions on that? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that additional appropriation.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, Ryan has made a motion, and I have a second.
I'll second.
Dina has seconded, so further discussion. Otherwise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. So we have, is that all?
That's all I have.
So we have to appoint to make, approve the appointments, in the upcoming year and the ones that have expired, so thought we could do that. We need to do that tonight. So let me read these off so the public knows also, and then I think we can approve them all as one vote. And so the 911 advisory board, 1 year, council, these are all council appointments, Doug Evilhair. And Alcoholic Beverage Commission, 1 year term, Anthony Sang. Area Development Corporation, 1 year term, myself, Michael Kleesner. And then Indiana Region 15 Planning Commission, 1 year term, Meredith Vogel. Jasper Public Library Board, a 4 year term, and it's Ann Shepard. And then the Property Tax Board of Appeals, Greg Abel, it's a 2 year term. And then the Solid Waste Management District Board, it's a 1 year term, Sonia Haas. And then the Tourism Committee, 2 year term, Rachel Steckler. And then those all begin at the January 1 of 2026. And then we have some appointments that are expiring early, and these both are going to start February 1st. And that is the Ferdinand Economic Development Commission. It's a 4 year term, Dan Culligan. And then the Huntingburg Economic Development Commission, a 4 year term, John Mundy. So is there any discussion or questions on those? Otherwise,
I'll make a motion to approve. The list is read.
we've got a motion to approve. We have a second.
I'll second.
Meredith is seconded, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. Then, I don't think, I guess I'll open it up to the council to have it. Does anyone have any? Sonia, I'll start with you. Do you have anything to
I don't have any.
report or Dina,
Nothing additional.
Brian?
Other than the thing that I handed to everyone, just giving an update of where they're at with the county airport. And I know they're having a meeting on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll have an update to give to everyone then.
I do not have anything at this point. Meredith?
I guess just quickly, just offering up the updates on where we are with the comprehensive plan for the county. City of Jasper happens to be going through that same process that we are as well, so kind of a time for everybody to go through that. But we have passed the point now in our process of going through steering committee meeting and different stakeholder meetings, and then we'll have another, actually, I think, steering committee meeting tomorrow, late in the day. So progressing through that, and then probably look over the next couple months after the holidays for public sessions and public input. So, and we have still are combing through some of the comments from the surveys that were also taken as well. So we had a really great response. So really appreciate our community getting out to do that. So this is a lot of good feedback.
I don't have anything, Mike.
Okay, thank you. All right. Sandy, do you have anything else?
We are in the process of converting our financial software. They're gonna hit the ground running in January, and so beware, it's gonna,
Okay, well, that's great, isn't it? Good news.
a lot of change is gonna happen.
looking forward to that. I think it's gonna help us all.
So do they move everything at once? How do they do that?
It's a process, let me tell you, but they've grabbed our data a couple of times, so.
Good.
And I guess backing up here on that same type of deal here with urban, the weed study thing that's going. I think they sent out something for all the department heads. So I mean, at least we got that also moving. So sounds great. So
Yeah, we got a bill already.
is that right?
All right.
They're grabbing the job descriptions and
That's what I talked about today.
they're working on it.
So do they fill that out web-based or do they actually fill in, like write on the paper when they do all the stuff for their departments? How do they do that, Mike?
The question, I think that Marky put out, HR director put out, he just asked all the department heads to look at each person's job description and update it. And if it was.
Yeah, I printed all my people out and I redid, made corrections and he fixed them, so I can only speak for my department.
So I think that's crucial or critical, I think, to move forward with, what's their duties and, responsibilities as far as putting up.
But is there a central place where all that's kept online? As to,
You'd have to ask.
That's kind of what I was getting at. is if I
I'm
could
sure
look at
it'll be
the-
with Marky's.
I would have thought it's already been like that since we all have descriptions and job requirements.
Marky has them all.
Yeah. I would think so.
I don't know if we would, I don't know, I shouldn't say if it's for public knowledge or if it's internal at this point.
Anytime I've ever needed one of mine, I just tell him and he sends it to me, so.
And I just want to remind, we have the morning meeting on December 29th at 9:30. So, everybody can make that, so. And then I'll open it up, I think that's all I have. We'll just open it up for public comment at the end here. So, Mark, you want to start off or?
I'll start out.
Okay.
So, Friday, I believe everyone received an email from Brad Hochstein, one of the members of the Property Rights Alliance Group, and, Mark Nowatarski, DuBois County resident, member of the Property Rights Alliance and Coalition Against the Mid-States Corridor. Well, what I'm here today to do is, for public purposes, we would like to go ahead and read that letter to the council. I know you've gotten an email. I do have hard copies I'd like to give you if you want to follow along. It will take longer than a 3-minute read. I've asked for permission to.
I know of 3 Brad Hope things. Is this the one that, do you know what his job is? So I can know.
I don't, he moved back here about a year ago, I believe.
Okay.
Son is Greg and Rhonda.
Greg.
Grew up on South Sea Road, went to Holy Family and Jasper. He's, he put him at about 44, 45.
He's the positive designation officer. Thank you. Positive.
Okay. Just curious.
So this is in regards to the letter that was emailed on December 12th, and it is regarding the county withdrawal from the Mid-States Corridor Regional Development Authority to the council members and commissioners. We begin by expressing our appreciation for your service to DuBois County and for the steady, deliberate leadership you have shown. The prosperity and stability that our communities enjoy today are the results of the decisions made by leaders like you over the past decades, often in challenging circumstances and without the certainty that hindsight provides. The choice to join the Mid-States Corridor Regional Development Authority, RDA, in 2017 was one of those decisions. In a moment of uncertainty about the Mid-States Corridor project and the need for local participation in the Tier 1 environmental study, forming and joining the RDA was a reasonable step grounded in best intentions and a desire to protect DuBois County's interests. We offer this letter in the same spirit of cooperation and trust. Our aim is not to revisit past choices or cast doubt on the judgment of those who made them. Instead, we hope to support you in making the best possible decision for DuBois County today. With the information now available and with the clear priorities of your constituents in mind, the function of the RDA was created to support has been filled. Tier one is complete, and the state now carries full responsibility for Tier 2. What remains as a regional development authority with unusually broad statutory powers, but no defined project, no current mandate, and a record of inconsistent public accountability. The primary concern before you is not about transportation, it's about governance, fiscal responsibility, and the long-term well-being of DuBois County. Indiana Code 36-7.6 grants expansive powers to regional development authorities. These include the ability to finance and assist in the study of regional transportation and economic development initiatives, to acquire, hold, and convey interest in real and personal property, and to lease or purchase facilities connected to those initiatives. The statute also authorizes regional development authorities bonds, make loans, and grants to units of government, and enter joint agreements with public and private entities. With the approval from the appropriate legislative body, a regional development authority may also exercise eminent domain. These are far-reaching tools appropriate only for highly active, transparent, and accountable public authority with a clear mandate and strong public confidence. The Mid-States Corridor RDA no longer has such a mandate. Over the years, residents have struggled to find timely minutes, complete reports, or clear public explanations of the RDA's work. Statutes require regional development authorities to maintain a strategic development plan with detailed budgets, project timelines, projected subsidies, estimated returns, and anticipated matching funds. In practice, these obligations have not been met in a way that gives the public a clear understanding of the RDA's direction or intentions. Minutes have often been delayed or unavailable. Public information about ongoing plans have been inconsistent, and the RDA has not adequately advised its member governments on the statutory requirements governing renewal or withdrawal at the end of the 8-year membership term. When authority is this broad and oversight is this limited, this RDA could overshadow the control our local governments normally exercise over development. DuBois County is navigating the same fiscal pressures facing counties across Indiana. Costs for essential services continue to rise. Road maintenance demands, reliable annual investment, and local governments must constantly balance limited resources against growing expectations from residents. In this environment, every public entity must contribute clear value, operate with transparency, and justify its continued existence. The RDA no longer meets that standard. It has no active project, no defined role, and no demonstrated need. Maintaining membership in an authority with broad statutory powers, but no mandate adds risk at a time when the county's focus must remain on the core responsibilities that directly serve residents. Against this backdrop, every major fiscal decision is crucial. Maintaining safe and reliable local roads is one of the most visible and essential responsibilities of county government. It is also one of the most resource intensive. Local officials in Jasper have indicated that the city is able to rebuild only about 1 mile of roadway each year, even though roughly 8 miles would be needed to maintain a healthy 15-year cycle. While conditions vary from place to place, it is clear that DuBois County faces similar pressures in balancing limited transportation funds with the miles of roadway that require regular attention. These decisions are made in good faith and with the best available information, but the fiscal constraints are real and persistent. The RDA's purpose has been completed. Keeping it active now only creates risk for DuBois County. Its legal structure reinforces that conclusion. Although Jasper and Huntingburg adopted ordinances acknowledging their participation in the RDA, their membership exists because DuBois County joined. Indiana Code 36-7.6-2-3 provides that when a county becomes a member of a regional development authority, every qualified city in that county automatically becomes a member by operation of statute. Their ordinances reflected this reality, but did not create independent membership. Indiana Code 36-7-2-5 requires each member to serve a minimum 8-year term, after which it must adopt an ordinance either renewing its membership or withdrawing from the authority. Under the same statute, the cities cannot withdraw unless the county withdraws. Because the statute ties their membership to the county's decision at the end of each term. The practical effect is unavoidable. If DuBois County does not withdraw, Jasper and Huntingburg remain legally bound to the RDA. At a moment when the authority has no remaining mandate, the public has every right to expect the RDA to make a clear case for its continued existence, to explain the statutory options available to its members, and to actively build support if it believed renewal was warranted. None of that took place. There was no attempt to secure a new public mandate or to communicate openly about the decisions facing members' governments. As a result, residents and local institutions were left without the clarity the statute envisioned. Responsibility now rests with the county to bring the matter to a straightforward conclusion. We believe it is in the best interest of DuBois County for the commission and for the commissioners to bring this chapter to a close and restore full control of regional development decisions to the county's elected leaders. Indiana Code 36-7.6-2-5 provides a clear and direct path for withdrawal. The steps are straightforward. Adopt an ordinance stating that the county is withdrawing its membership in a regional development authority. Provide formal written notice of the withdrawal to the regional development authority. And the regional development authority provides notice to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation promptly in writing. Once these steps are completed, the county's withdrawal is formally established under the statute. Withdrawing now brings clarity, protects local authority, and ensures that development decisions remain in the hands of the officials elected to make them. The voters of DuBois County will recognize leadership that protects local control, guards county finances, and stands with the overwhelming sentiment of the community. We urge you to adopt the necessary ordinance and complete the process of withdrawal without delay. Sincerely, and I'm not going to read all the names there. So I want to thank you for the extra time you've given me to read that. And also, this is the last council meeting, I believe, for the year. So happy Christmas to it. Oh, we do have one more.
One morning meeting.
I wish you a happy birthday then, or happy Merry Christmas then. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak?
How you guys? Bob Pfister. I asked the council, what power do you have over the RDA? And you all will look at me and say, well, we don't have any power. Yes, you do. And your power is to revoke and not to renew their charter. That's the power you have. Anything else, you can't really affect this project that is ravaging your friends, your neighbors, your citizens, and your taxpayers. But you can have power over the RDA by revoking their charter. Thank you very much.
Anyone else want to speak?
Roger Pond, county resident. It's hard for me to add on to what they've got because of this IC 36, but I have a couple questions, a couple comments, and I'll try to keep it shorter than I did for the council, for the commissioners. My first question is under IC 36.7.6-2-15 local advisory committees. Each county or municipality that is a member of the Development Authority may appoint a local advisory committee to advise the county or municipality on issues related to the Development Authority. My question is, do you have that member advising the council of the RDA functions?
You know, I can't answer that.
And that's fine. I've been trying to find out who your advisory committee would be to advise the county or municipality. As far as I know, there's none.
I mean, they've always, the RDA has notified the council on, what they do, and they file a report to us every year.
Okay,
So I mean, I think we probably look at it as the whole council.
but as a committee, there really isn't one.
Not really, I don't think we form a committee.
Yeah, I noted the word may, it doesn't say shall.
Right.
So there's a bit of a distinction there.
And that's, to me, not it's on the shady side of transparency. They may, but they may not. Okay. The other thing is,
It says may, it's not required.
right, but encouraged. So anyway, the powers, I'm not going to get down. There's a list of 22 lines basically in IC 36.7.6-3-2. And briefly, and y'all probably read this, and I don't mean to be advising you, but for those that don't read these for entertainment, the Development Authority may do any of the following: finance, improve, construct, reconstruct, renovate, purchase, lease, acquire, and equip land and projects that are of regional importance. They can lease land, they can finance additional improvements, they can construct or reconstruct highways, roads, and bridges, they can acquire property, they can make loans. And I'll leave it at that it continues on that they can provide funding. And I want to touch on that one, is that they can also appoint an executive director, employ appraisers, real estate experts, engineers, architects, surveyors, attorneys, accountants, auditors, clerks, construction managers, and any consultants or employees that are necessary, and this is what gets to me, or desired by the Development Authority in exercising its powers or carrying out its duties under this article. They can accept loans, grants, and other forms of financial assistance from the federal government, state government, political subdivision, or any other public or private source. Now there's, as I said, about 22 of these, what they can or may or will do. Now there's one line item here, number 22 under 36.7.6, chapter 3. Except as prohibited by law, they take any action to carry out this article, which means unless they're breaking the law and they get a whim of what they want to do, they have the power to do it, and they don't have to ask. And this is the one thing they must have from the is eminent domain, is what the letter had alluded to. They must get the approval of the governing authority. That's the one restriction they have out of this whole chapter. Lastly, when it comes to the bonding and leasing, their authority, and I'm going to kind of combine the bonding and the lease because they are worded the same under 36.7.6.4. The chapter contains full and complete authority for the issuance of bonds or leases. No law, procedure, proceeding, publication, notices, consents, approvals, orders, or acts by a development board or any other officer, department, agency, or instrumentality of the state, of any political subdivision, is required to issue any bonds, except as provided in this article. So in essence, they're saying there's nobody they have to ask. There's no approval they have to get. They are omnipotent when it comes to leases or bonds. They may let you know about it later, but I just wanted to bring out some of those details of when they say broad, it's broader yet. There's more detail here. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I just add one more thing?
Sure.
Sorry, it'll be quick. I just, again, Mark Nowatarski, resident of DuBois County. I think it'd be important to give you a little bit of clarity as an example when our organizations talk about, when the letter about lack of transparency, lack of clarity. I'll give you a personal thing. For the last 3 years, I've attended every RDA, quarterly RDA meeting, public meeting that they've had, with exception to, I think, one for sure, because it was on my birthday, and possibly one other. They're supposed to, provide, keep us updated on their minutes of the meeting and their financial reports. If you go to the Mid-States Corridor RDA website today, the last time they have their minutes in there, I think, was sometime in 2024. Okay. Same thing with financial reports. Now, we challenged them on that when we came. So the last meeting that they had a couple weeks ago, the president of the RDA came in and handed me a physical copy of the minutes from the last time that it was approved, and then stated to the group that was there, if you sign in and you add your email, we will send you a copy of the minutes once they were approved, which is not the proper way to go about notifying the broader public, because not everyone comes to those RDA meetings. Their biggest thing, and they've been doing this for a year now, where they said, well, yeah, we've had some trouble with the webmaster or whoever it is that puts their website and getting the information on there. And we're looking into that. And then they've talked about, well, maybe we need to change, who we work with. Well, if they were serious about it and you look at their finances, they have plenty of money, our money, your money, that's left in their coffers. They could have easily hired a legitimate website manager or whatever, not even hire a full-time manager, but a company to put it together and organize it and have those, once meetings minutes are approved, to get them. It's not hard putting it on a website, to have it available. So that's just when we talk about those things, that's just one example. I'm sure. Thanks.
Mark, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Too, since you went to all those meetings, when will this 8-year term be up for the RDA? When was it actually formed?
I believe it's now, isn't it? It's
Yes,
January.
2017.
Because, so in this letter, which is well written, but it says there's no defined project, and I'm pretty sure today I read that now they are in the planning stage of the project of the Mid-States Corridor. They released that today, so when you can,
That was from MnDOT. Yeah, that was from MnDOT. And that's part of their process that they go through.
And one other question I got for you is, do you know how the RDA commingles with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation? What is their relationship? How do they?
I don't know how they intermingle with that organization. I do know that while at RDA meetings, they keep emphasizing to us that their responsibility is to handle the financial part of it, which they did for Tier 1, and they did, they distributed the funds when they were asked to. But they always say that beyond that, they can't answer any questions because they're really not part of it. But when you talk to the NDOT people, they acknowledge that the RDA board is part of what they consider part of their project team, and that they have participation in every month's meeting with NDOT. Just another example of, not really. So they always go through, their meetings last maybe 10 minutes, 15 at the most, and then they close close it down, and then they allow people to, off the record, ask any questions. And 80% of those, I would say, maybe even 90%, they say, well, we don't have the knowledge or we don't have the authority to answer those questions.
Alex, I can answer your question. I mean, if that's okay.
Why don't you come on up?
Thanks.
I'm Teresa Kendall, just recently moved away from Du Bois County and now I'm a resident of Owen County. But this thing happens, you know, we're neighbors. So the Indiana Economic Development Commission is very similar to an RDA. It is a private-public partnership. I guess it's between the state and these private entities that do these things. The IEDC has been reprimanded for being very non-transparent, and state legislators have called them corrupt. So it was re-engineered by Governor Braun. But basically, the IEDC is very similar to an RDA. An RDA is based on the model of what the IEDC is. So they are both public partners, or public and private partnerships. They have a board that governs it. So in the RDA, we have our board that governs what they do. The IEDC has the same thing, but there is a person that is in control of the IEDC, and that ultimately goes to the governor. With the RDA, we just have the board, and they are just private individuals that were supposedly, put on the RDA by elected officials. In the IEDC, they're handpicked by the governor. I believe there might be 3 on there that the people on the board get to select. But I know there's been changes, and I think that was an old way. I'd have to look it up. But ultimately, the Indiana Economic Development Commission can do anything. They can absorb an RDA. They can do anything they want to. I mean, basically, they've got limits, but they're very, 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 very thin. So that's how this all came about. What you do is you have a private group that acts as a governing body that aren't elected and aren't accountable to anybody. IEDC is that way, the RDA is that way. So that
And
was,
the reason I asked was I looked at the IEDC audit in 2025, and there was a lot of stuff in there that wasn't good. So I was hoping or curious if the RDA was intertwined with them because of the audit that I read for the IEDC, because of the nepotism, uncompetitive contracts. It was a big deal, and I'm not even blaming the current administration. I think it preceded them who was on there, but the audit was not good. It looked very bad.
it's been a gradually thing. It was just kind of gradually getting more of a, kind of a network of, people scratching each other's backs. It was overhauled. I mean, everybody that was there before, they're all gone. And so, we don't know. The worst part of all of it, it's just like the RDA, we don't have the list of everybody that donated to it. You'll never get it's very difficult to get the list of people that donate to the IEDC. Can't get it. It's a private entity. It's a private agency. So when it's just funded by public tax dollars, same thing with the RDA. So that is basically the core memo, the core message of our letter is that you've got a private group acting like they're a governmental body and using our tax dollars. And, when I had my civics class in high school, that wasn't anything, there was nothing like that. And I'm sure the civics class at Jasper High School, I was always taught the same thing. You're supposed to have complete transparency in what people do with their money. So I hope that helps that explanation. Unfortunately, I have put way too much time in understanding the IEDC. So anyway, if anybody else has a question, it's pretty easy to look up their webpage and find out what they do.
Well, thank you. Anyone else?
Well, I could answer your question about when it was due. I've got the 20, I had it. It was the ordinance that I'd sent
I think we all had.
2017, it was signed
2017.
So any day.
the following August.
So it's 2018, I think, August of 18.
Yeah, so, again, Title 36 says at least, not more than 18 months, but at least 12 months prior to the renewal, you have to state whether you're going to renew or not. And those reports that the RDA needs to make to the Indiana Economic Commission is by electronic notification, and if somebody leaves or joins, they have to report that to the Indiana Economic Commission, and that's about all the restrictions that I'm aware they have.
Thank you.
That answers your.
Is there anyone else? Did you want to speak? Okay, we're all finished.
So it's still Bob Pfister. So my question is, do I understand this right, that we had 12 months before that we should have voted on this, or
You know,
are we gonna take a vote tonight, maybe?
I don't think we were ever given from the RDA, we were not presented with any kind of a ordinance or update or, so we're not prepared to make any
I
kind
understand that, I'm kind of just facetious, but I mean, it's something you need to really think about, because obviously the time has passed already.
I think Mr. Pun sent that out and we researched and I sent it to, I think, all the council members. So we have to hear from them and,
Sure.
most of the people on the council here weren't around.
We
They
understand,
signed that
we understand.
and probably, so,
So will you set a vote for a certain day, or will you?
but we have to get the information, the ordinance written, before we could do something
Okay.
like that.
Will you push that forward?
We can question them. I've never been contacted by them that we had to do this. Roger Pun sent it to me.
So are they outside the law then right now by not contacting you guys 12 months in advance?
Probably, but when I read the thing, it doesn't say what happens if you don't. Does it go away or does it?
I have an ordinance like that.
So I that's what's somewhat confusing to me.
All right,
But I
I mean,
appreciate you.
so it's really time, I mean, for all of us to think about it. They were running roughshod over everybody in the county. So think about it. Thank you very much.
17, is that what you said? I'm trying to look.
I think it's 18, I think.
18?
I think August of 18
I think
is.
2017 was in the ordinance.
Coming August.
2017-1 was the ordinance.
Right.
It was signed
17?
August.
So, no further public comment. So we just move on with the meeting. The other thing is make sure that everyone signs those. Those were not all signed, so we need to get those before you leave tonight. But thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. Appreciate the
Thank you for
comments.
listening.
Good comments there. So
Merry Christmas.
yeah,
Merry Christmas.
yeah, same to you. Thank you.
March.
Do you want a motion to adjourn?
We love Lewis County the way it is. Love Lewis County the way it is. And I've been doing all these meetings like they are. And you find out all the money. It's so important that we really think this out. If I'm wrong, if the road goes through, I'll be checked. God's in charge, and I'm really afraid. Then you make the right decisions.
So let's have, is there any way otherwise I'll entertain.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Alex.
Motion to adjourn.
Merry Christmas. Everybody, thanks. I know it's not easy. Sorry, Mike, I thought it was closed already. Thanks for your patience, everybody.
Who seconded
It's
that?
Alex.
Let me start doing this thing. There we go.
Sure.
Do you want this or
They were-
nepotism?